It's Carlos Christian. I'm the president and founder of the Starts Within organization. What we do is we work with individuals for 52 weeks before they get released. We also work with those same group of individuals for 52 weeks after they get released as well. Our mission is to reduce the recidivism rate. We get that accomplished through education and mentoring. Now, one of the things that we always encounter when we go inside of the institutions and talking with the population is that they're concerned about their inability to be able to obtain employment once they get released due to the infamous background check. And their family members also are concerned about this too as well. The people who support the individual who is incarcerated, they wonder, are they going to be able to get employment because their background check, it reads with all of these felonies and things like that. And one thing that I had started to come up with, because I was at Columbus State Community College a couple of weeks ago for the Restored Citizen Summit, and I just heard everybody saying the background check, and how are we going to be able to get employment with the background check? We cannot get around the box, check the box. And they're doing these different things to ban the box and things like that, but the background check is still relevant. So something just caught me that day, and I then came up with a new phrase and a new slogan that's going to sweep the nation. And what I am saying now is the background check is dead. Rest in peace to the background check. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the background check. Because now what I've understood, it is not about the background check, it is about the right now check, the title of this presentation. The right now check, if the right now check is strong enough, it will overpower the background check. What I have realized is that a lot of times when opportunity presents itself, if you are not ready for that opportunity when it presents itself, you will not be able to capitalize on that opportunity. What I have realized is that opportunity comes to us all. The people who are successful are the people who are able to capitalize on the opportunity. So how do you capitalize on the opportunity? You have to start to develop yourself in a way that will present value to the individual who is across from you. That means that when I come across somebody and they look at me, they have to be able to see value. If they cannot see value, then that means that they will not want to invest in me because they do not want to take a chance in me. So what I tell the guys so much inside of the penitentiary is that time is the most valuable asset known to mankind. It's the only thing that you cannot get back. It cannot be duplicated. That means that 1/22 September 24th, 2015 will never happen again. So you got to take advantage of the time that you have. It doesn't matter if you are incarcerated, it doesn't matter if you are home, it doesn't matter if you stand up under a cardboard box. You got to take advantage of the time that you are given while you are on this earth. It is the most valuable asset known to mankind. What should you be doing during that time? You should be preparing yourself to be able to capitalize on an opportunity when it presents itself so you can become successful. That means that when somebody comes to you and they have an organization or they have a company, you will show a showing that says that, you know what, I am a person of value. I can take your company to the next level. You will be able to see your company flourish when you deal with me. That's because I have dealt with all of my issues that I have had, and I am a different individual right now, and that's what reads. See, this puts the power more into the individual and not into laws and not into structures and not into everything else that somebody does not have no type of control over. Only thing that you have control over is yourself. And this is what I talk with the guys about. This is important. Because if you are sitting waiting on for laws to change, if you are sitting waiting on for everything else to change, for you to change, then failure is inevitable. I know. I know. 13 years old, I got involved in selling drugs, and I did that for 6 years, and at 19 years old, I got incarcerated in Marion Correctional Institution. I had to do 10 years. My son was 3 months old when I got incarcerated. I had to do 10 years inside of Marion Correctional Institution. But one thing that I said is that I thought that I was going to be able to obtain all of these riches and all of this Bahamas and Cayman Islands and things like that from me selling my drugs. That's what I was conditioned in my mind to say, that what I am doing is going to be able to obtain that. It didn't. It got me inside a prison, and we've been talking about the structure. I just seen Voorhees, he had a thing on there now where they got cages that separates people from each other if they are highly dangerous, right? So this is something that I said that this is not a place that I wanted to be. So what did I do when I was incarcerated? I said that I need to start to develop myself and to be an individual that's going to be of value, meaning that I am valuable regardless. The reason why I am valuable because my left side is different from my right side. All of the fingerprints on my hand is different. No fingerprint has been duplicated. There has not been a fingerprint like this before this, and it will not be a fingerprint like this after this. That means that my design is restricted directly to me, meaning I have not been designed like this. Nobody has not been designed like this ever before in their life. So then that means that I'm valuable. Anything that is a one-on-one has got to be value. And that's what I have to get to these guys to understand. Because when you are in a situation and you saying that I am 355-519 and you are in this type of environment, sometimes you get to thinking that you are not that valuable because your situation says that you are not that valuable. But what I tell guys is that you got to define your situation. You don't let your situation define you. That means that I said that I am a father. I need to do something different to be able to influence my child. So my son, my 3-month-old son at the time when he becomes 10 and then he becomes 18, he will not be going into an environment such as this, which is prison, having to stand up for count 6 times a day, having to live out of a 2.4 locker box, having to go to the chow hall, and having to wait at the trash can for people throwing away the Jell-O because they say that they are Islamic and they say that there's pork in Jell-O, and I love Jell-O. You don't have to throw away that Jell-O, good brother. I'm going to go ahead and take it up off your hands, right? And I love the Jell-O with the fruit in it. These are some things that I like, right? And one thing that I realized is that what I didn't like is penitentiary. So now I have to start to design myself in a way to where penitentiary will not be a part of my reality in the future. But not only that, but it will not be a part of my son's reality. It will not be a part of my niece's reality. It will not be a part of my nephew's reality. It will not be a part of their reality because I will be able to transfer the information to them of what prison is. And this is the issue. When I was 13 years old and I started to sell drugs, one thing that I seen was people coming home from prison like it was no problem. They were saying that, you know what, I can do another 5 years. I did it standing on my head. But they were not telling the truth. They were not telling the truth as in saying that it was hell. It was right next door to hell. It's close to death. This is the reality of it. But they took on their macho-ness and said, you know what, hey, prison was not that big of a deal. I got it done. And then they come back into society, into our communities, living the same exact way that got them put in prison in the first place. Amen. How does this happen? See, one thing that I've understood is that a lot of times people think that just because you lock somebody away, they're going to get fixed and they're going to be rehabilitated because you all have locked them away and they're going to come home ready. One thing that I know is that over 90% of the individuals are coming back into our communities. So why am I so relentless into going inside of the institutions to get these guys the information that they need? You are valuable. Your left-hand side is different from your right-hand side. They need to know these things so then they can start to walk with value. And then they can start to say, you know, what it is that I want to do, what it is that I don't want to do, where it is that I want to be, where it is that I don't want to be, because every time somebody don't have, all the time people don't have where they want to be at. So what I started to say is you start to work from the back end. So now you start to say where you don't want to be at. And then you start to mimic the behavior that justifies that. If I'm saying I don't want to be in prison, then that means that I can't be committing no crimes out here in society. That means that I can't be living like I'm from the streets and I'm a gangster and I'm a thug while I'm inside a prison. Starts within, it says, before change can be seen externally, change must be done internally, meaning that change starts first within yourself and it starts within your current situation, meaning that you don't wait until your current situation subsides before you start to change. So much times I see individuals during my 10-year prison sentence, and I'm like a case study. So now I'm like a professor in the re-entry field because I've been out for 8 years and I've been able to see my son go off to college now. And instead of going to prison, he's going to college now. What I've been able to understand is that the reason why people fail, the reason why people succeed is because the people who fail, they do not take advantage of their most valuable asset, which is time. They feel like that I'm in prison, only thing that I need to do is just waste my time. I just need to sleep it off, and then when I wake up, I'll be good. I'll be in the situation that I want to be in. Life will be perfect for me. And what they find out is that once that time is over with, they're not ready. And they got to revisit that again. I ask the guys, I say, being in prison isn't the worst thing. I tell them, I say, what do you think the worst thing is? They say, man, ain't nothing worse than being here in prison. I say, you know what's worse than being in prison? Anybody got to fill in on that?
Going back.
What's worse than being in prison is wanting to go home so bad, then finally be given the opportunity to go home, not being properly prepared, and then have to come back in prison at a later date, at a later age, to do additional time in the same place that you just left. Some guys left out of prison and they came back so fast I thought they was in an LC. I said, brother, how you get convicted? How did you catch a case, get convicted, and be back that fast? In 90 days, your bed is still open. Good brothers. Your bed is still open. I thought you was in a hole. I thought you was in an LC. That's what I thought. I didn't know that you went out and got a new number. There was no type of court process that went on there. It's like, man, hey, just go ahead and ship me back in like quickly. You went to LORCI, you went to receiving, you went through the course receiving, all of that, and back to your same area in 90 days. Lack of preparation. You cannot be successful without preparation.